Okay, this is Elvira. Elvira has come to visit for some work. Okay, so the main thing is the stator was replaced, and then the owner noticed that things weren't running right, so I went down there and took a look at it, and pretty much come to the conclusion that the carbs need to be cleaned out and or rebuilt. So we're going to work on that. Also going to adjust this clutch because that ain't right. Other things we're going to do, they did the stator but not the regulator, so I'm going to replace the regulator. We have this that needs to be fixed, and this is crooked. Well, not crooked, but you know, turned a little bit, so I'm going to get that sitting right. And get her cleaned up and running and looking pretty. So this is where we're at. But I do have the seat and everything. It's just still in the car. But yep, we're gonna finish her up and get her so she can get on the road. Oh, the other thing is they couldn't get the speakers to work. So we're going to see if we can get them to work, and if not, remove them and possibly replace them with some similar ones that I have that are Bluetooth. But I'm going to see how this is wired and see if I can connect to it and figure out what's going on with that too. But we got to take the tank off anyway to get to the carbs, so that's something I'm going to address while the tank is off. That way if I do need to remove it and install different ones, you know, well, I already have access to the wires and be able to run the new ones properly. So there you have it. Project Elvira. Oh yeah, a 2001 Vstar 1100. Alright, so to get to the carbs, the first thing you need to do is remove the tank. And there are 2 bolts right here, right there, that you take out. And see, you're able to pull up. Make sure you turn your fuel off. Okay, and then you'll pull this off. I already took the clamp off, but you'll pull this off. You'll have some fuel come out of here that's still in the line, but nothing should come out of here. If something comes out of the petcock, then your off is not off. But, you know, so that's the first thing. And, so we'll get that taken off, and then we'll be able to get to the carbs. One thing I forgot to mention is you need to disengage your fuel pump, which is going to be under this. You're going to, I guess normally it has screws. This one didn't. Ignore the background noise. I listen to TV while I do it. But here's the plug. You're going to disengage that, and then you'll be able to pull the whole tank off. Okay, so next you got the air box. So from what I can tell, you just need to take the bolt off there. And then there's some little screws there and there. And then, so it looks like 6 little ones, 3 on each side. But that takes this top box off, so I'm hoping that just taking this off will lift the whole thing, but we'll see. One step at a time. Okay, so you'll need to go unscrew these to be able to get the air box off, along with that bolt. But I went ahead and opened it up because I wanted to see what was inside. Because it's always good to check and see. But we're going to get this all cleaned up too, so that it's fresh when we put it all back. And clean everything inside and out. And once we get the boots taken off with the clamps, you know, it's just a screwdriver. And he got one on each side. Then we'll remove that and we'll be able to get to our carbs. Okay, so we got the bottom of the airbox off, and I took the boots out as well. So here we are now at the carbs. So there should be, let me see, let me turn my flash on. There we go, now we can see what we're doing. So we have another clamp down there, you can see the screw sticking out. It's just icky. And then the same thing over here, somewhere in there. I can see the clamp, but just have to find where the screw is. Yeah, right there. And these are different. It's like an Allen key head. That's what it looks like. But we will take those off, and then these should come out as a pair. You got some wires that are affixed in place there. Probably have to cut that, or I will see if it's one that doesn't require being cut. Maybe it just wraps around it, but and then there's also should be the throttle cables need to come off somewhere. Might have to remove the air filter to get to it. And the throttle cables. Oh, they're on this side. So I'll have to pull those throttle cables off, and then we'll be free. Okay, so we had some strip screws here. I was able to tap this bit into the top one and put my ratchet on it and turn it, and was able to get that one out. But this one is gonna have to be drilled out, and Wonder Bread does that for me. So since he won't be here till later, we're gonna move on to some other things that need to be checked and or done. So I was thinking about working on the spark plugs. So there should be one here. This is a V-twin, so you're gonna have 2 cylinders, which means 2 spark plugs, and this should just pop out. Let me see if I can get that. There we go. And we'll get that cleaned up too. Then you're just gonna take a screwdriver here, pop this up, the boot up from the cable or wire, and one of the rotating, ouch, I hurt myself with that. One of the rotating sockets that fits on top so that you can get it at an angle, and then you should be able to get that out. The other one is on this side, I believe. Hold on. Okay, I moved over here, so it might be a little easier. Pop this off. Been on there for a while, so it's gonna be a little bit of a pain in the butt. Alright, I'm gonna have to pause. I'm gonna need both hands for this. Okay, so there it is. Right there. You just pop that off, stick your socket in there, pull it out. So let's get those out and see what we're looking at. Okay, so you'll need one of these extensions that rotates like that in order to get the socket in and out to be able to turn the spark plug. I ended up having to use a 21 socket, but it may be different for yours. It just depends on your bike and what spark plugs you put in. Different spark plugs, you know, are gonna have different sizes, especially, you know, difference between cheap and performance and this and that. It just all depends what you put in there or what was put in there before you bought your bike. So yeah, just be mindful of that. But you need one of these in order to do your spark plugs. Okay, so here's the spark plugs. They actually, let me see, there we go. Actually don't look that bad. So that's one thing that was done to it before the bike was sold to my friend. So, not bad. I've seen way worse. Way worse. So, we'll pop those back in and yeah, should be good.